Greetings, everyone. Glenn Kellaway from the basement. Hope everyone is going to have a great day today. It is Thursday morning. I'm going to start a little mini series here on the 60s. My favorite decade of music. But I'm going to just do a few years. I'm going to do 65, 66, 67, 68, and 69. I don't really have much to say about 60 to 63. 64 would be all just Beatles, invasion stuff. So I think the record industry got a little more interesting. Music got a little more interesting from 65 to 69. So I'm going to break down each year. I am going to rank my favorite albums of each of those years. Some years are going to have more albums than others. 65 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 albums. So let's get started. 1965, I was 12 years old and ripe for the picking. The Beatles, they started filming Help in February of 1965. I'm not sure when it was released. I think it was in the summer of that year. Two big TV shows that you just wouldn't miss: Hullabaloo and Shindig. They used to have the bands of the day on these two network TV shows, Hullabaloo and Shindig. July 25th, 1965, an important date in music history. That's when Dylan went electric at Newport and blew everything up. The Beatles in August played Chase Stadium, the largest concert attendance ever for however long. And I think Grand Funk broke the record or something. I can't remember. I'm sure it's been broken a million times since then, but in those days that was unheard of. Getting like 55,000 people or whatever it was to come out to a show. Beatles released a couple of great albums, which I'm going to talk about. Dylan released a couple of important albums. There was a lot of other cool stuff going on. Let's get started with the ranking. Number 11 on my list is going to be Otis Redding. Now, was I listening to Otis Redding in 1965? Be honest with you, I wasn't. But I listen to Otis now, and this is one great frickin' album, Otis Blue. If you're looking at buying albums from the 60s, this is one definitely worth checking out. It's got Respect on it, his version of Respect, which are of course Aretha Franklin owns now. It's got I've Been Loving You Too Long. It's got Shake on it. His version of Satisfaction. This is just a great album from start to finish. Otis Redding, Otis Blue. Okay, next, a band that does not get enough love in the vinyl community. These guys were just great. The Lovin' Spoonful, their debut album, titled on their first big hit, Do You Believe in Magic? John Sebastian, Zal Yanovsky, who was from Canada, and the other two dudes. Great stuff on here. This album's great. It's got some blues stuff on it. It's got some jug band stuff on it. It's got some rock, some pop. Really solid album, The Lovin' Spoonful. If you haven't listened to these guys, you should check them out. Of course, the song Do You Believe in Magic is on here. And I'm trying to see if any other hits were on here. Did You Ever Have to Make Up Your Mind was another hit for them. This is a really good album. Their next album, Daydream, I think came out in the same year, and it's just as good. Excellent band. Lovin' Spoonful. Number 10. Number 9. First Motown album I bought in 1965 when it came out. I just frickin' loved the hits off of this album. I Can't Help Myself. It's the same old song. The Four Tops second album. This is a great frickin' record. I bought this album like when Beatles albums and stuff were coming out. It was like a real kind of switch for me on the kind of music I was buying at the time, but I just loved the Four Tops and still do. That's number 9. Number 8, The Byrds debut, Mr. Tambourine Man. How could it not be in there? Essential album. I mean, between this And Dylan going electric. I mean, I think that kind of fathered in the country rock, the folk rock, whatever you want to do it. They were really essential albums in important albums in leading that. This is the first time I ever saw a picture of Bob Dylan when I bought this record when it came out. I'd heard the name, didn't know too much about Bob at that time, but that's when he really started to come into prominence with me at this time when this album came out, because Like a Rolling Stone came out that year, and then Instant Fan. Next, how about The Pretty Things? Again, a band that really wasn't on my radar back then, but now they're amazing. And their debut album, I mean, these guys, if you like early Stones, you will love The Pretty Things. As a matter of fact, I can't remember which one of the dudes was in the Stones at one time and before, and then they split up, and these guys did The Pretty Things, and the Stones went on to do what they do. And great band, The Pretty Things. Great debut album. Fantastic stuff on here. They do Roadrunner on here. Oh Mama, Keep Your Big Mouth Shut is another kind of a blues song. Great band. Fontana label. Norton label. Fontana. The Norton label. Anyway, awesome album. Awesome. Okay, next. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, number 6 on my list. My favorite early Stones album. Should be up higher on my list. Rolling Stones Now. I frickin' love this album. You know, back in those days, I didn't know what blues music was. I thought it was Rolling Stones music. So when I hear Little Red Rooster, I thought that is just nothing but the Rolling Stones. I never thought anything about Willie Dixon or anybody else. And Pain in My Heart was an Otis Redding song. What else did they do on here? They did a couple of Chuck Berry covers on here. You Can't Catch Me. They did a Bo Diddley song on here, Mona, and Everybody Needs Somebody to Love, which is a Solomon Burke song. Down Home Girl. This is a great frickin' record. Early Stones at their best. Rolling Stones Now. Okay, number 5. Again, I wasn't into the blues at this time, and I was surprised this album came out in 65. Paul Butterfield Blues Band. I didn't get into this stuff until probably 67. So, wow. I mean, Mike Bloomfield, what these guys were doing. Unbelievable. This is 65. Unfrickin' real. That these guys are amazing. Paul Butterfield Blues Band, one of the greatest bands ever. Their first 3 albums are just essential. Next, let's get some Beatles in here. Help. The movie came out in 65. I still vividly remember going to the show to see it. It's still my favorite Beatles movie over A Hard Day's Night. I mean, the title song, Help. The Night Before, You've Got to Hide Your Love Away is incredible. I Need You, Another Girl, You're Gonna Lose That Girl. Ticket to Ride, my second favorite Beatles song. Act Naturally, It's Only Love, You Like Me Too Much, Tell Me What You See, I've Just Seen a Face, Beatles Bluegrass, Yesterday, and Dizzy Miss Lizzie. What a great frickin' album this is. The Beatles. Number 3, The Beatles again, Rubber Soul. Oh my God. What an album. I mean, this is somewhat of an acoustic album, I guess. Just great. I mean, Drive My Car, Norwegian Wood. Man, they were really starting to grow at this point, and I love that cover. Next, the top 2 are both Dylan albums, Bringing It All Back Home. I did not buy this album until I bought the number 1 in my listing here. Highway 61. I bought this because of Like a Rolling Stone, and I love the B-side of Like a Rolling Stone, which was Gates of Eden, and to my surprise, it was not on this album. So I had to go and buy this one, bringing it all back home. Gates of Eden. Am I so glad I did, because it had Mr. Tambourine Man, it had It's All Right Ma, I'm Only Bleeding. I mean, this album really was mind blowing. Mind blowing at the time. Maybe it should be number one over Highway 61. I don't know, like 1A, 1B. So that's my look at 1965. 66 is coming up, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 albums from 66 too. I hope you'll enjoy this. Let me know what your favorites are. Did I miss any? And we will talk soon. Take care.